get help. This sounds like send help, get help in any possible way. Okay, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is I used to cheap out and literally try to do everything myself. I mean, this is what I was just first starting to do these events. Like, are they successful? I don't know. I don't want to spend like thousands of dollars on something that I'm not sure about. So I tried to do everything myself. I would literally like create the gift bags on my Cricut. I would blow up balloons. I'd buy a helium tank to blow up all the balloons. I would transport everything from my house to the venue. I would order everything myself. And then at the event itself, I expected myself to check people in, to be on the panel, to clean up shit. Like, it's impossible. So get help. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the WIIM Podcast. Women in Influencer Marketing is a first-of-its-kind exclusive networking group made up of inspirational women. This podcast is where we explore influencer marketing and get real about women in business. Find us wherever you download podcasts, and of course, you can always find us at iamwim.com. That's iamwim.com. Hey guys, welcome back to the WIIM Podcast. You've got me, Jessy Grossman, your host and founder of the Women in Influencer Marketing community. If you have not joined our membership yet, you're just missing out. But we have so much coming. We have so many announcements to make, and there's just like so much buzz and excitement happening in the group. Like, the core of it, it's all of our members. And I just want you to meet all of the incredible women who are in the group that I have been fortunate enough to meet and learn from and just grow from. I'm privileged, honestly, to know the women that are in the group. It's like the most incredible supportive thing. So if you're like into the conversations that we have here, I highly encourage you to check out the membership because it's this on steroids. It's the best. I can't promise you that enough. This week, we're going to have such an interesting conversation. So I know that I've been sharing with you guys my journey to becoming an event planner. I don't fancy myself one. However, we've produced so many live events this year, which we started at the end of last year. Certainly, we hosted live events pre-COVID, but post-COVID and during COVID, we took a break. Everything was virtual. And so with the world opening up, the world is officially opened up, right? And we just thought that people were itching for that in-person camaraderie and experiences again. And we also think that there's nothing more powerful than in-person networking, which is what we're all about. So we've been hosting a ton of in-person stuff, and I wanted to not just tell you guys, yeah, the events went awesome. They were fun. I wanted to give you guys some learnings, things that I have very much learned and struggled to sort through about what you have to do to produce a successful live event. You guys are marketers or you guys are business owners, and live events are just a really, really powerful thing, but they are not easy at all whatsoever. Learned a lot. So stick around. This is going to be an entire episode solely dedicated to how to host a successful live event. All right, you guys. So I can officially call myself event planner with all of the events that we've produced this year for WIIM. Real talk, though, you guys, events are a beast. And honestly, it's like whether you're producing an event for 5 people or for 100 plus people or 1,000 people, it's hard. They are so hard, but I've learned a lot, and I just want to teach you guys what I've learned. So hopefully you can avoid making the mistakes and missteps that I've made along the way. So I'm looking at my list, 1, 2, 3, about 6 or 7 items, my top learnings of how to produce a successful event. So item number 1, this is a good thing to start with. Leave additional time, you guys. You are not going to be able to produce an event in a month, not even 2 or 3, probably. Basically, leave more time than you think that you will need. You will need more time to set up. You will need more time to plan. You will just need more time. So either add an hour or a week or a month more to all timelines because it will benefit you in the long run. All right, item number 2, a thing that I've learned, create repeatable systems. Even if you think that this is going to be a one-off event, the goal is that it's so successful that you'll have another one, right? For us, we're producing events in New York, LA, Chicago. We hope to go to other cities. We hope to come back to those cities. And so, like, have your future self thank you because you're creating repeatable systems that should theoretically make every subsequent event easier than the last. So, how do you do that? Keep track of all your vendors. If you happen to find a fantastic photographer or happen to find a fantastic videographer, keep their information all in one place. For me, I literally create a Google Doc to organize myself, which is another item that I'm going to be going over with you guys today. But I keep track of all of my vendors, notes galore, and basically, I'm just creating anything that can be repeated for the next event because each additional one should get easier and easier. And I know, again, you might be thinking, this is just meant to be a one off event, but I would challenge you on that, right? Like, why is it going to just be one event? Shouldn't it be successful enough to have another one? So create repeatable systems. Your future self will thank you. Account for mix ups. You guys, my anxiety levels have diminished tremendously as soon as I approached my events knowing that shit was going to go wrong. Shit always goes wrong with events. So even with all the planning in the world, there are going to be mix ups, mixed steps, unexpected things. Bake in backups and contingency plans and backups on backups on backups. Get help. This sounds like send help, get help in any possible way. Okay, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is I used to cheap out and literally try to do everything myself. I mean, this is when I was just first starting to do these events. And like, are they successful? I don't know. I don't want to spend like thousands of dollars on something that I'm not sure about. So I tried to do everything myself. I would literally like create the gift bags on my Cricut. I would blow up balloons. I'd buy a helium tank to blow up all the balloons. I would transport everything from my house to the venue. I would order everything myself. And then at the event itself, I expected myself to check people in, to be on the panel, to clean up shit. Like it's impossible. So get help. What is a tip that I will give you, though, which has really worked well for us, and I assume that this could work for you in your scenario. We ask for volunteers in exchange for a free ticket. And I want to do right by people. So, all of our volunteers, I only schedule them to actually work half of the event because I don't want to say, like, yeah, in exchange for a free ticket that you're like literally never going to use because you're going to be working the whole event. No, that's lame, right? So, we ask for volunteers. Our tickets are like $50 if you're not a member. So it's like a significant amount. Some people just don't want to do that. Some people just want to like feel a part of something too. Everyone has their own reasons. But ask for volunteers, see if somebody's willing to help you out and account for that. Like grab their cell phone number, grab their email address, remind them, put them on a calendar invite, start a group chat later on before the event, but get help in a number of different ways, whether it comes to the planning of the event, but absolutely, and more specifically, what I'm referring to is especially in the execution of the event. It's imperative. You cannot be in 5,000 different places at once. And you will be able to be more present at the event as well, since you'll have people on the ground helping you. Delegate, delegate, delegate. Okay. One more thing I do want to mention on that, which I have a note on this. Create a run of show so that everybody knows what they're responsible for. This is a misstep that I've made at one of our last events. I got an incredible amount of people willing to help, but they were kind of sitting around for so much of the preparation, like setup time, because like I didn't give them anything to do. And you're going to be doing a million things yourself as well. So creating a run of show, literally like from 4 to 4:30, this person's doing that, this person's doing that, and send it in advance and say, here's what you're responsible for. Write notes, blah, blah, blah. The more preparation and that run of show, that was key to having this last New York event, I think, go really well. All right. So I have to tell you guys a little bit about a company that I absolutely love. It's called Oversubscribe. Their co-founder, Peter, was actually recently on this podcast. So go check out that episode from June 20th. But basically, Oversubscribe is a place where fans can fund their favorite creators and earn back on that investment. So if you're a creator or their management, you should totally check them out. The million-dollar question these days is always around growth, how to grow, how to scale. And if you're a creator who wants to expand your business, but you simply don't have the capital to do it, let your fans fund it, the people who are already invested in you. Once the creator successfully grows their business from this investment and earns more based on that funding, the investor, the fans, earn from it too. There are lots of fans out there who would love to invest in their favorite creators, but they simply didn't know that they could. So, subscribers now have a real stake in the success in a creator's business thanks to Oversubscribe. They can help them grow financially, which will then in turn make the content better, the quality of the content better, which will accelerate your growth as a creator just because you got some funding from the people who have already supported you for years. I think it's a really innovative idea. I love it. I want you guys to check out oversubscribe.co and just mention WIIM. That's oversubscribe.co and tell them Jessy from WIIM sent you. Hey, you. Thanks for listening to this episode. This show is sponsored by Women in Influencer Marketing, the best online community for the creator economy. You'll meet fellow influencer marketers, brands, and talent managers to talk shop, get hired, and even find a mentor. When you join, don't forget to check out all of our incredible resources. We also have dozens of masterclasses from the top voices at TikTok, YouTube, award-winning agencies, and women who are paving the way for us all. If you want a chance to network with a who's who in influencer marketing, just check out what it takes to join the membership collective. Visit iamwim.com/join today. That's iamwim.com/join. And I'll see you around the community. Over communicate. Okay, so this is definitely related to that run of show, but I can tell you that so many of our vendors nailed it and felt extra prepared because I over communicated. So I mentioned this before. We did this for the first time this event, and I thought it worked really well for us that we created a group chat for everyone helping with the event. Basically, someone always gets lost. Someone will always be late. And chances are you won't be glued to your phone. So it's a really good idea to have the entire group have visibility. There were moments at the event where, I just finished speaking and I was like, hey, can someone come up here and help me clear chairs? And that just mass went out to everybody. So it was really cool having a group chat. It's something that I'm definitely going to continue with. Also, I briefly touched on this when it came to our vendors. I thought it was really helpful this time. Well, could ask my photographer, my videographer, but they thought it was helpful that I sent them a shot list in advance with prior examples of the look and the feel that I was going for. We had sponsors. So I wanted to absolutely make sure that we were doing right by our sponsors and saying I want shots of each of these items, or I want shots of this venue. I want B-roll of this. So over communicating, and then also just having an open line of communication. So the day before the event, I messaged everyone. I was like, any last questions, anything you need, let me know. So over communication, it's a really good thing to do. Organize yourself. So as soon as I have a date and a location for an event, I just duplicate my last Google Sheet. I feel like Google Sheets are so rudimentary, but for this, it kind of is perfect. So it has tons of different tabs on the bottom of the sheet for everything from, budget to the run of show that I mentioned, to the guest list, et cetera, et cetera. Put everything related to your event in one organized place. It could be Google Sheets, but it could be whatever other CRM or system that you want to use. But once the event day comes, you can share certain elements from that spreadsheet to key stakeholders. So I had two people who were checking people into the event. So I just sent them the Google Sheet and I was like, go to the guest list tab and you'll each be able to collaborate on it and check people in. It was pretty clutch. And also talking about what we were talking about before, which is, creating repeatable systems. Now I have an entire blueprint of what I can recreate for my next event because I can literally click copy and then create a new spreadsheet, which will be very helpful. And one of my last tips for you guys, this is something new that we did on a larger scale. I've always invited people personally to events, but I get wrapped up in the planning of it. And what is the point of putting all of this planning into an event if no one shows up? So this event, I made a really concerted effort to personally invite people and not just rely on mass mailers and, announcements on our social and things like that. I feel like there's this, I don't know, every business is different, right? And some people have the luxury of just, oh my God, so and so said they're doing an event and it sold out and it sells out in 2 seconds. Well, apparently we don't have that luxury, but I sold out our event. And I will tell you that this time, I think we sold it out earlier than our LA event sold out because I personally invited people. You'll always see an influx of ticket sales the week of the event, but the ideal situation is that your event is already sold out by that point. Always open up a wait list as well because you can capture email addresses during this time of FOMO. We are going to be recreating that, which is I went on LinkedIn and I had a field day. I went through my contacts and had a field day. And I just personally invited people. And I had a lot of people also call that out at the event. It was so nice of you to reach out. Thank you for inviting me. And people felt more inclined to go. And I think people felt real special about it. And I'm glad that they felt special. So if you are someone that I personally reached out to, thank you for coming. So I'm super excited about these events that we've been doing. But again, real talk, they've been hard. We're always looking for sponsors. We're always looking for gift back. We're always looking for gift bag inclusion items. We're always looking for panelists. We're looking, for ideas on how to structure them. And the items that I gave you today, which are leave additional time, create repeatable systems, account for mix-ups, get help, overcommunicate, organize yourself, and send personal invites. It's a lot of stuff, and I know that this will help you, but there's still, of course, so much more. So if you guys are interested in learning more about sort of the ins and outs of what it takes to have a successful event, leave me a comment on this video on YouTube or, comment on our Instagram posts because we always promote the podcasts on our Instagram and let me know because it's helpful for me to know what you guys want to hear more about. And as always, thank you guys so, so much for listening, and we will see you next week. If you enjoyed this episode, we gotta have you back. Check out our website for more ways to get involved, including all the information you need about joining our collective. You can check out all the information at IamWIIM.com. Leave us a review, a rating, but the most important thing that we could ask you to do is to share this podcast.
Thanks for listening.
Tune in next week.